Okay, so we are continuing our civics lessons. Last week we learned about government. We talked about senators and representatives, presidents, vice president, and how to find that information. This week, we're not going to talk about government, but civics, it also includes how do things work in America. And as a lot of you know, um, getting an ID or a driver's license is very important. So today, in continuing with civics, we're talking about how to get and how can I use an ID. And some of you were asking me, how do I do this homework, Chris? I can't write on this paper. I can't type. Um, all you have to do is look at the question, write down the question number, and write your answer, A or B. And do that first, read this paper first, and then watch this video, and I'll talk about all the answers. So we have a conversation about driver's license and ID cards with two people, Tatiana and Carlos. So Tatiana says, "Hi, Carlos. I have a question for you about identification cards." Carlos says, "Oh yeah, what's that?" "In my native country, everyone has a national ID card. We don't have that here in the United States, right? What should I use?" "No, we have a national ID card. We don't have a national ID card in the United States, but you can use a driver's license as an ID card. You can also use a permanent resident card." So I'm going to stop one moment. If you don't want to drive, you can get a permanent resident card. And, if someone wants to see, are you old enough to um, apply for a job or, buy alcohol, you can use a permanent resident card. You can also use your passport. But if you want something that shows that you live in America, this is the kind of card you can use, the resident card. But the driver's license does the same thing. And of course, that allows you to drive a car. So anyway, let's continue with our story. "I'm a permanent resident. Can I get a driver's license?" "Yes, of course. You can apply for one at the Department of Motor Vehicles. It's also called the DMV." We say this word a lot in America. And that is where you get your driver's license. Um, so let's go over the answers. Is there a national ID card in the United States? Well, we look at the rating. It says no, I don't have a national ID card. What can Tatiana use for identification in the United States? Well, Carlos said you can use a driver's license and you can use the permanent resident card. So number 2 is A. Number 3, can Tatiana get a driver's license? Yeah, she can. Of course, Carlos said. Um, to get that permanent resident card, you have to show that you live here in America. You can't just be visiting. You can't just be living here for a few months or, half the year. So if you can show that you're permanent, that means always living here, then you can get that driver's license. Number 4, where can Tatiana apply for a driver's license? We didn't talk about Social Security. We did talk about DMV. So number 4 is B. Okay. There's one more part of this. It's the application. And there's a woman, her name is Roxana. And let's just go through this application. All the information is here. So we know that her last name is Gomez. Her first name is Roxana. Her middle name Isela. Her date of birth is all the way at the end here. August 22nd, 1985. And they want you to put in the numbers here. So the month would be August. So you have to count. What month is that? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. That's the 8th month. I have to count every time. If you could see me, I'm using my fingers, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So August is the 8th month. So that's 8 here, 22nd, and 1985. This next part is kind of important because it teaches us about the address system in the United States. That's another thing that's different in every country. So when someone asks for your address, that only includes this information: the number of your house or apartment, the name of your street. That's it. So her address, Roxana's address, is 2456 Pine Street. The city is the next part, Sarasota. The state comes next, Florida, and the zip code is last, 34230. So when you look at address information, it's always in this order: the number of the house or apartment, the street name, the city, the state, and then the zip code. All right, let's finish this. Her hair color and eye color is brown. So brown and brown for 9 and 10. Height, she is 5 feet 3 inches tall. So 5 feet 3 inches. Her weight, 105 pounds. So that's it. And I was just looking because everything is different right now because of coronavirus. What happens if my driver's license is expired? What happens if I need a new one? Or for my car, there's an inspection, there's a registration. What happens if I need to get a new one? Well, I looked at the DMV website, and if I went down a little bit, basically everything is being extended. So if your driver's license expired at the end of this month, it can continue to be used. It can be extended until June 30th. And the same thing for your inspection, your registration, it is extended until next month. So I think a lot of government services, we're just seeing what happens, and then we wait until next month. And if we're still having quarantine for coronavirus until next month, we have to wait one more month. So getting a permanent resident card, getting a driver's license card, we know a little bit more about that now. So I'm not going to talk to you on Friday because I've got a wedding to worry about. So I'll put up some writing tomorrow, and then next week, hopefully I'll have something to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I will talk to you soon.